I've lost over 160 pounds naturally, and I've kept it off for 8 years and counting. Let me show you how.
Hi, I'm Shelli Johnson, author of Start Where You Are Weight Loss, and I'm here to empower you to eat what you want, lose weight, and keep it off. Today we're going to be talking about how to stop dieting and start living by losing weight, eating whatever you want. All the links to everything mentioned in this video can be found in the description box below. Make sure you stick around to the end and I'll share 3 tips to help you along your weight loss journey.
Food is not the problem.
Weight loss is not about food. I know that might be really hard to wrap your head around, especially if you've been dieting for any length of time. I'm sure you've heard people in authority tell you that there are good foods you should eat more of and bad foods you should avoid. You've probably been told that the only way to successful weight loss is to restrict the kinds of foods you eat, or eat things you don't much like, or avoid certain categories of foods altogether. I'm here to tell you that none of that is true. None of it. I used to believe all that too. I spent over 20 years on the diet go-round, jumping from one diet to the next. None of them ever worked long term. The reason why is because losing weight and keeping it off is not about the food. Instead, it's what you think about food and its role in your life. The only foods you need to avoid are the ones that you're allergic to. That's it. Everything else is available to you.
The problem is what you think about food.
If you're like me, you've probably given food some kind of emotional connotations in your life. Maybe you look to it to comfort you, or give you worth and value, or make you feel a certain way. It's also likely that you've expected food to fix something in your life, like a bad situation that you're in, or to numb you from a feeling you don't want to feel, or to help you avoid making a choice you don't want to make. But it's not food's job to make you feel anything or to fix anything in your life. Food is fuel for your body so you can thrive. Any other meaning that it holds for you is because that's what you gave it. The great news is that you are in charge of what you think and believe about food, and you can always, always, always change your mind. And if you want to get away from diets and dieting, and instead eat what you want and lose weight, well, then you're going to have to change what you think and believe.
You've got to trust yourself and your body.
First off, you've got to trust yourself and your body. You need to trust that your body knows what it needs and will let you know. All you've got to do is pay attention and do a little listening. Your body would tell you when you're hungry. It'll tell you what you most want to eat because that's what you'll be craving. It'll also tell you when you're comfortably full, so that's when you stop eating, even if that's after a few bites or with food still left on your plate. The key is that you have to not only listen, but to act on what your body is telling you. So if your body says you want chocolate or a banana or a hamburger, that's what you eat. I eat whatever my body is craving without judgment. So if I want a donut, I eat a donut. If I want bread or cookies or pasta or potatoes or whatever, I simply eat it. Like I said earlier, I don't have any restrictions except for what I'm allergic to. Then I simply stop eating when I'm comfortably full.
You can eat without judgment or shame.
It's also key that you eat whatever your body is craving without judgment. You don't have to judge and label foods anymore. You also don't have to judge and label yourself for wanting to eat any foods. I used to eat and feel a lot of shame because I kept telling myself I should be eating healthy. I should be avoiding foods that are unhealthy. I had these long mental lists in my head of what those foods were, how many calories each one had, along with how long I'd have to go to the gym to work off any food if I wanted to cheat. I also felt weak-willed and like a failure because I couldn't avoid entire categories of food long term. Now I don't do any of that. I'm here to tell you that you can eat without shame. I've been eating this way for the past decade because I needed to heal the crazy-making behavior I was having around food. Before I started my final weight loss journey 10 years ago, I was afraid of food. I also felt like there was something wrong with me because no diet worked for me long term. I could always get the weight off, I could just never keep it off. The problem wasn't me, and if you're struggling with dieting, the problem isn't you. The problem is what you think about food and its purpose in your life. The way to get your power back is to listen to your body and trust it. That's what I did. you can and need to do the same.
Keep watching for 3 bonus tips at the end. Food only has one role in your life.
The reason I can eat whatever I want is twofold. 1, I look at food as fuel for my body so I can thrive. And 2, I did the work on myself to understand why I was turning to food to fix my life and the reasons behind why I was putting food into a role in my life where it just never belonged. Once you do the work of understanding why you're using food in a way it was never intended to be used, like to comfort or numb yourself, to make yourself feel brave, to give you something to do when you're bored, and the list goes on, then you'll be able to eat whatever you want to within the bounds of hunger and fullness.
Weight loss tip number 1.
Be patient. It's going to take some time for you to change your thinking, and that's okay.
Weight loss tip number 2.
You'll know when you're physiologically hungry if you have a hollow feeling in your belly or your stomach growls. If you don't feel that, you're likely not physiologically hungry.
Weight loss tip number 3.
And if you're eating when you're not physiologically hungry, you need to ask yourself, what are you looking for food to do for you that it was never intended to do?
Start Where You Are Weight Loss can help you stop dieting and start living by showing you how to eat what you want, lose weight, and keep it off.
Just remember, every mistake is simply a brand new chance to do it better the next time.